All right, so today we're diving into something that's pretty mind-bending, even for a show like ours.
Yeah, this one's a little out there,
It is. It is.
but fascinating too.
Absolutely, and kind of spooky, right?
Yeah.
AI hallucinations. We all use these chatbots, right? I mean,
Oh yeah, every day.
and they're amazing, but every once in a while they go off the rails,
They really do.
like completely make stuff up.
It's wild.
It's like, that friend who tells the tallest tales and believes every word.
Yeah, totally.
But with AI, the stakes are a bit higher, right?
Much higher.
So we've got this great article by Norbert Gunstisch. We'll just call him Bob for short.
Bob. Okay.
And Bob walks us through some real-world examples of these AI hallucinations, and some of the consequences are, well,
Well, they can be pretty serious.
let's just say it that way.
Yeah.
So first things first, what exactly are we talking about when we say AI hallucinations? It's not like robots seeing ghosts, right?
No ghosts.
Okay, good.
It's more like the AI is confidently giving you false information as if it were absolute truth.
So it's not just getting a fact wrong.
No, it's like it's creating a whole new reality,
Inventing stuff.
inventing and believing it completely.
And that's where things get a little scary, especially when you think about AI being used in important fields like law or medicine or...
Science, government.
Yeah, exactly. So Bob gives this example of a lawyer who's using a chatbot for legal research.
Oh, this is a bad one.
It is, it is.
The chatbot actually fabricated entire case laws, like made them up out of thin air.
Wow. And the lawyer, not realizing this, of course, goes and cites these fake cases in court.
Can you imagine the judge's face?
I can't even imagine.
The fallout.
Yeah, talk about damage to your credibility.
Oh, absolutely, and potentially to the entire case.
And it really highlights the fact that these AI systems, as smart as they are,
They're very smart.
they don't actually understand the information they're processing.
Yeah. Right. It's like they're great at pattern recognition, gobble up tons of data,
Make predictions.
but they don't have that human ability to fact check or...
To think critically.
Yeah, exactly. They can't tell if the data they're trained on is actually true or not.
So it's kind of like, imagine a student who can ace a multiple choice test just by spotting patterns.
Oh, I knew a few of those.
Right, but ask them to explain the concepts.
They'd be lost.
Totally lost. And that's the problem we're dealing with here, right?
Exactly.
The AI can sound incredibly convincing because it's pulling from this vast database of information.
Yeah, and spitting it back out in a way
That sounds so real,
so real.
but it doesn't have that deeper understanding of what it's saying.
And that can have some pretty scary consequences, like Bob pointed out with the lawyer example.
Oh, absolutely. And he talks about another case involving OpenAI's Whisper, which is this amazing tool.
Yeah, speech recognition, right?
Yeah, designed to transcribe medical information. So
Yeah.
you can imagine how helpful that would be for patients with speech difficulties.
Oh, absolutely. A game changer for accessibility.
Exactly. But what happened? Whisper started hallucinating.
It did. And it wasn't just random words. It was like it was adding these emotionally charged phrases.
Oh, wow. That's creepy.
Isn't it? And, you can imagine how dangerous that could be in a medical setting.
Absolutely. A doctor making a diagnosis based on a transcript that's been altered, even slightly.
Oh, it's a nightmare scenario, right? Really highlights the need for human oversight, especially when AI is being used in such critical situations.
Yeah, you can't just blindly trust the machine, no matter how advanced it seems.
No way.
So, okay, we've talked about some of the scary stuff, but Bob also mentions this kind of funny example with an airline chatbot.
Oh, yeah, the one that made up its own customer-friendly policy.
Yeah. Tell me about that.
So this chatbot, it just randomly started offering passengers this amazing deal, like free upgrades and stuff.
And this policy didn't actually exist.
It didn't exist at all. But the chatbot was telling everyone it was company policy.
So what happened? Did the airline have to honor it?
They did. They actually honored it for a while to avoid a PR nightmare.
Wow. So even in less serious situations, these hallucinations can cause real-world problems.
Real problems, yeah.
Okay, so we've established that AI hallucinations are a thing, and they can be a big deal. But the big question is why? Why are these systems making things up?
Well, remember, they're basically prediction machines, right? They've been trained on this massive amount of data.
And they don't know the difference between fact and fiction.
Exactly. So if they see enough evidence to support a fabricated claim, they'll present it as truth, even if it's completely made up.
So it's like that game of telephone where a message gets distorted as it's passed along.
Perfect analogy. And that's what's happening with AI. It's just on a much larger and more complex scale.
Okay, so we know the problem. But is there a solution? Can we stop these AI hallucinations from happening?
Well, researchers are working on some really cool things, and Bob highlights a couple of them.
Like what?
One is called retrieval-augmented generation.
That sounds complicated.
It is, a bit, but basically it involves giving the AI access to verified sources while it's working.
So it's like having a fact checker built in.
Exactly. And another approach is using confidence scores.
Confidence scores.
Yeah, so the AI can assess how sure it is about the information it's generating.
So if it's not very confident, it might flag it for human review or something like that.
Right. It's all about making the AI more transparent and giving humans more control over the process.
Okay, so it sounds like there are ways to mitigate the risks, but are these solutions foolproof?
Unfortunately, no. AI is still in its early stages, and even with these advances, it can still make mistakes.
So the human element is still crucial.
Absolutely. It's like think of AI as a high-performance sports car.
Okay, I like that analogy.
It can be incredibly powerful and efficient, but in the wrong hands or without proper safeguards, it can be dangerous.
So to wrap things up, what's the big takeaway for our listeners today?
I think the biggest takeaway is that AI is a powerful tool, but it's not a magic bullet.
It's not going to solve all our problems.
Yeah, definitely not. It needs human guidance, especially in areas like law, medicine, finance, anything where accuracy is critical.
Right, so we need to be aware of its limitations, like these hallucinations we've been discussing.
And we always need to keep a human in the loop to provide that essential oversight.
Absolutely. So as you explore the world of AI, remember, it's a powerful partner, but it needs a steady hand to guide it.
Well said.
And on that note, I'll leave you with this thought. As we continue to develop ever more sophisticated AI, how do we strike that balance between innovation and responsibility? That's something to ponder.
A big question for the future.
It is. It is. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.